Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Blog Talk Radio. I love that they offer us this space for free. So I just wanted to say a thank you to them, first of all, if they ever listen, who knows. And I just feel so grateful to be in this space. I have two people on the line with me, and we are going to have a discussion about the Song of Prayer. And who are we? We are students of A Course in Miracles. We meet up in Whitby, Ontario. We meet weekly. We connect through phone calls and various other things throughout the week as well. We're just very, very touched by A Course in Miracles and all the lessons that we're gleaning from it. And we have just such a desire to share that with whoever happens to listen. So, we have Matthew and Peter here with us. And I think, Matthew, you kind of have an idea of how best to start this off. So welcome, and I look forward to listening to this.
Thank you. I feel inspired after Peter was just suggesting before we went live there that the first paragraph even of this Song of Prayer pamphlet in the introduction is probably a great way just to set the overall intention. True prayer really is all about in the context of A Course in Miracles. So I will read this to set the tone, and just go into a couple of other paragraphs related to true prayer. Prayer is the greatest gift with which God blessed at His creation. It was then what it is to become, the single voice, Creator and creation share. The song the Son sings to the Father, who returns the thanks it offers Him unto the Son. Endless the harmony and endless joyous concord of the love they give forever to each other. And in this, creation is extended. God gives to His extension in His Son. His Son gives thanks for His creation in the song of His creating in His Father's name. They share is what all prayer will be throughout eternity when time is done. For such it was before time seemed to be. Really love the Course's perception on time, and I feel this particular paragraph is very powerful. It's kind of, in a sense, if heaven could be described in words, of course it's an experience beyond description. However, if it could be put into words, I feel this paragraph gives us a interpretation of what that existence may be like. And of course, that's where we are now, awake in heaven, and it's bringing our awareness to that awakefulness of where our true place is. And I feel that's it's very to think how our function here in the world is really about forgiveness and healing, and parallel in heaven, the equal function is expansion and creation with God. And that leads wonderfully well into I'll go into the second paragraph from section 1. It's called True Prayer. And what True Prayer discusses next to the Course is giving up the things we think we need in the world, to let go of the specific and simply allow the Holy Spirit's healing to enter our mind in an abstract sense, and however things appear to unfold here in the world is perfectly fine. There's no specific outcome that needs to happen. The Course often talks about you need do nothing, and that's in reference to trying to fix things out in the world or on the movie screen. And of course, when we see that from a higher awareness, it makes absolutely no sense to try and fix dream figures because it's a dream. And really, the dream outcome makes no difference. Our experience of the dream that brings us that deep sense of peace and joy and love and all those that help us remember our true place in heaven. And so I'll read this paragraph 2 here. You have been told to ask Spirit for the answer to any specific problem, and that you'll receive a specific answer if such is your need. You have also been told that there is only one problem and one answer. In prayer, this is not contradictory. There are decisions to make here, and they must be made whether they are illusions or not. You cannot be asked to accept answers which are beyond the level of need that you can recognize. Therefore, it is not the form of the question that matters, nor how it is asked. The form of the answer, if given by God, will suit your need as you see it. This is merely an echo of the reply of his voice. The real sound is always a song of thanksgiving and of love. And for me, this really just emphasizes that our heart is on God and nothing else. All that we want is God, and the more and more we open our heart and willingness to that possibility, the more that serenity and joy and peaceful sense of beingness that comes along with that focus on our true place in heaven with God. And in this paragraph, it's talking about the echoes of God's voice, meaning as we give God all the things we think we need, we lay them upon this altar before God. And it could be material things, they could be physical ailments, health challenges, wealth challenges, relationship obstacles in place of being fully connected with the people that we love in our life. It really doesn't matter, however, because there is no hierarchy in illusions. And for the Holy Spirit, all of these challenges, our perceptual challenges, are actually the same for the Holy Spirit. And in fact, he accepts them as gifts. They are our gifts to him. And as we look gifts to God and the Holy Spirit upon this altar, we release them psychologically from our mind. And what con is a solution, maybe in the form of an inspired idea or something to say or something to do. Yet, as this paragraph is describing, it's not the inspiration that is what we're looking for. It's just that deep sense of peace that is felt upon releasing our grievance into heaven. And through that, it is quite simple, yet in my own experience, it's been challenging at times with the compulsive desire things through step-by-step linear process. And as I transcend that, though, I am replaced with, rather the thinkingness is replaced of knowingness in being safe and secure and really having a very high degree of trust and faith in knowing that my needs are provided for even before I actually know what my needs are, because, of course, from a higher level of awareness, everything is known. And as we surrender to that higher awareness, we can then know everything here in this seeming illusion, or at least know everything that we need to know at any given moment, at any given time. And I'll just read the fourth paragraph, and then perhaps we can continue the discussion. I feel this one is very important as well, in really bringing the whole idea of what true prayer is all about and releasing everything, just letting it all go in the most positive of ways. And this is prayer. The secret of true prayer is to forget the things you think you need. To ask for the specific is much the same as to look on and then forgive it. Also in the same way, in prayer, you overlook your specific needs as you see them. Let them go into God's hands. There they become your gifts to him, for they tell him that you would have no gods before him. No law is. What could his answer be but your remembrance of him? Can this be traded for a bit of trifling advice about a problem of an instant's duration? God answers only for eternity, but still all little answers are contained in this. And just my comments on that, and then passing it along to whomever would like to speak, is I particularly appreciate the third last sentence here. Can this be, it's a question, can this be traded for a bit of trifling advice about a problem of an instant's duration? And we really gain a perception in the context of which the Course views the world, meaning the world never happened. It happened in the blink of an eye, or even in a shorter time frame than that. in a moment's duration or an instant's duration. And when we really can elevate our mind to perceive what that means, all challenges in the world really do diminish. And it's just a matter of our trust and willingness to let these things go that seem so challenging at times to release. But the more and more we can gain a willingness to release them to the Holy Spirit God and allow His love to enter into our mind and to allow this all-encompassing deep sense of peace and safety permeate our being, then the more we can truly understand that this world never happened. And I mean that in the most positive way, of ways. It's actually a celebration when we can see our perceptions that we never left home, we never left heaven, we've always been safe with our Father. And it just warms my heart when I can true awareness back to that level of understanding.
You know, I just have to say everything you're saying is beautiful, and you know, I thank you for bringing this all towards us. And I just really want to hear. I feel I'm in more of a mode of listening now because I find that. Sorry. I just find I'm in more of a mode of listening instead of talking a lot. So what I'd really like, I'm just appreciating listening right now. And then I can put this on mute, and then you guys won't hear the dog, so that'll be good too. So Peter, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say in regards to what we're discussing this evening. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Sarah. Sarah, I can't wait to hear what I have to say neither, because I don't know yet. The thing, I guess it really is helpful as we begin to understand more and more what prayer is about and how prayer really ultimately comes exchanging the things that really limit us and the things that really bother us and the fears that we have and whatnot. And prayer is sort of like the best exchange in the world, where we give all this stuff, all this crap and whatnot, over to God, not so much to fix it, simply to no longer be burdened by those things, because the things that we still hold on to that keep us from an awareness of love are truly things that we don't want. And so it becomes a matter of recognizing what is it in life that I am still holding on to that's burdening me. And you know, it starts with things on the outside where we, as Matthew said, or as the Course says, it doesn't matter the form of the problem, although depending on where we are in our own understanding, it often starts with us thinking that there's something outside of us that needs to be changed or fixed. Again, having a different relationship or more money in the world or more health and whatnot. And as we begin to recognize that those things that we focus on outside of us, we've made important because we want a certain feeling. We want to have a feeling of safety by having more money. We want to have a feeling of being more loved by having the perfect partner. And we slowly begin to recognize that what we want and what we think lies outside of us is possibly within us, only waiting to be accessed. So then it becomes a matter of recognizing that as I give up the things that don't truly satisfy me, that they're in the surrender of that and in the letting go of those things that I recognize can never ideally satisfy me because they are external to me, we willingly give those things up, and we do gain a deeper sense of what we've been looking for, and it's no longer attached to external things anymore. It's a connection we begin to make where we simply feel more and more at peace. And the part I'd like to address, actually, which just came from the book Letting Go for our readers, it's a book by David Hawkins, which Matthew and Sarah have encouraged me to look at, and I've just started to look at it. And one of the things in my own life that seems the most deeply important to let go of is the things I think about myself, the deep-rooted beliefs I have about who I am and what I should be doing in the world, and simply this small sense of myself that on a deep level I've always believed to be true. And so letting go of that deepest sense of not being good enough, of being unworthy, of thinking I've made all kinds of mistakes that I'll never be able to fix, that conviction that there's something wrong, I think is one thing to surrender in prayer to the Holy Spirit, to simply say, I really don't know truly who I am or what I am, and therefore I give that all to God, and now I choose to listen, to let Him speak truth to me rather than my insisting I know myself. And at some point, when we give all that over, there's time for silence, a time simply for being open and trusting and willing to listen, knowing on deep level that what we hear of God is what we've truly been wanting to hear or wanting to feel. And so as we surrender more and more deeply into becoming empty, something new comes up, something which we can't find anywhere else, but which has lied deep within us in the silence.
You know, that's just so beautiful. And like I said, I'm in listening mode. So Matthew, what does that make you think of?
Yeah, I feel, of Course in Miracles, whether it's the text, the workbook, manual for teachers, or these supplements such as the Song of Prayer, it's really about what's between the lines. It's that silent transmission that we allow to enter our mind and enter our heart and into the depths of our soul as we really open up and hear what the Course is really saying. It can't be understood intellectually. It can only be understood, could say energetically, on a more subtle form of communication. And yet it's really in the silence that we're able to hear the true teaching of the Course. And in my experience lately, I find that the silence is becoming louder than the effects of the world, once were. And I'm actually enjoying more and more just hearing the silence, hearing nothing, or hearing that inner presence. For me, these are really all the same thing. And as I more and more focus on that voice of peace, it provides a sense of comfort and a knowingness that there's literally nothing in the world that could ever even compare to what this is, whether looking at a person, a material item, or wealth, or health, or all these things. They do become quite irrelevant when I truly find myself in that experience of allowing God into my heart. And, as the Course teaches us, that a tranquil mind is not a little gift. And every day it seems I'm gaining more insight into what that really means and the great treasure that it is to feel that inner presence and recognize that the kingdom is not only within us, but the kingdom of heaven is us.
Oh, yeah. I love listening to both of you guys. You both have your own experiential, things and perspectives and awesome insight. I know I've received compliments numerous times, about, people who've been listening who just really appreciate this radio show. And I think for me, what I find interesting is I just recently finished the full 365 days of lessons, and I did do it every day. I made a solid commitment to do it, and I did. And, if you do those 365 days of lessons, it will change. If you open your mind and you open your heart to it and you do it, and it's not about understanding it all at once. It's just about being open to it, sometimes not totally understanding what's saying, but just allowing it to permeate into your being. And I just find it interesting that I think I just finished it about 2 weeks ago, and now I have this need of I don't really want to talk a whole lot anymore. Yeah, and so hearing Matthew say about the silence being louder than the effects of the world, that to me just sounds like I know I haven't got to that yet, so it sounds interesting. But I just appreciate the fact of, there's all these different levels, and and then Peter always comes to us with awesome insight as well. I'm really glad that I've taken the time to make the commitment to do this because of how much it's changed my life. I highly encourage anyone who's listening, please, 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 in any way, when you hear the word A Course in Miracles, if any way it touches your heart, just try to do it. Even if you don't understand it, just read it and know that at a soul level, at that energetic level, your body and not your body, your soul is craving it. And the most amazing changes can happen. And I'm looking at the time now. Okay, we have about 9 minutes. This is awesome. So Matthew or Peter, I don't know, kind of lost track of who was just there. So, I think it's Peter's turn. Am I right, Peter?
Okay. Yeah, I just want to like to reiterate what Matthew said. At the beginning in many people's lives, and I know in my own life, what seemed to pull us the most, and what usually spoke up always the first, is the voice of the ego, which is very loud and demanding and almost hypnotic in its energy, where it draws us towards fearful thoughts and fearful feelings and whatnot. And yet, as we begin to let that go in trust and surrender, there is this deeper sense of what to value. We listen to the ego sometimes, I think, because we think there's something valid in what it has to tell us. Watch out for this, be careful of this, don't do this, full of so many instructions and to-dos in life. And at first we get caught up in thinking that that's really important, that we follow its voice, even though it's not a pleasant voice. But then we begin to discover that what truly nurtures and soothes the soul is that silence beyond the voice of the ego. And an analogy just sort of came to my mind in that being an ocean where the storms are going, where the surface of the ocean, you've got the big waves, you've got the mist, you've got all the violence in a sense going on at the top of the ocean, and yet the top of the ocean is only such a very small part. And if we only sink deeper below the ocean, we begin to experience the depth and the silence and the power that's there. And so it's recognizing that even though things may be rough on the surface, it's only such a small part of what can be our truer and deeper experience that it becomes much easier to simply begin to sink deeper into that quietness and into that stillness, knowing that therein lies the solution to our problems, rather than working on the surface trying to calm the waters. And so again, lots of times things are said about the silence between words, and even the silence between the words of the Course in Miracles is really, I think, where the Course in Miracles and any inspired text tries to take us, so that we begin to listen beyond the words and feel what the Course is telling us on an energetic level, or any other book on an energetic level, simply to connect as quickly as possible, depending on our willingness to drop to that silence, knowing that intellectual understanding, although for a lot of people seems to be important, ultimately it's not the intellectual understanding that's in the end all that important. It's letting go of all that stuff, all those concepts and all those ideas, to enter into the space really where there's no form, there's no idea, there's no thought in form even yet, where we simply sink into that womb of silence, and we bask in it, and then we come out refreshed, ready to enjoy the world, extend our love and light.
Mm-hmm. That was beautiful, Peter. And Matthew, what did that make you think?
Well, I listened to Peter in deep gratitude for how elegant He describes the process and the analogy involving the water, silence, and throwing rocks at the searcher certainly isn't going to change anything. That's kind of funny, coming to my mind now. What I feel is most important, again, is the experience. And it's the experience that when we correlate the silence being speaking, and when we actually feel that on, an emotional level, on an experiential level, to know that when we are silent and feeling that presence within us, that is when the mind is healed. In essence, it is healed. It transcends out of time and space entirely and joins with. And the process of it happening here in the world is the more we can tap into that space, the more our mind is healed on a regular basis, all areas of life and throughout all seeming tasks that we achieve in throughout our day, throughout our life. And remembering that is the most important thing. And when we can remember that deep sense of peace that is brought when we surrender everything to a higher power, to the Holy Spirit, then we have that motivation to continually do it more and more and more. And eventually, done. And we are home.
I had myself on silent. Oops.
You were enjoying the silence. How appropriate.
We were giving the listeners a chance to experience it themselves instead of talking.
Oh, that was so fun. Oh, my goodness. That was hilarious. I was like, Peter?
Yeah.
And there's nothing. And then I'm like, Matthew? And then I was like, oh, no. Oh, geez, you got to laugh at yourself. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 minutes left. So does anyone want to put a final little thing, or what do you think? I think this has just been phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I guess really one thing to point out, because sometimes the search for happiness or the things we do to try and reach that state, sometimes our ideas about it would suggest that this is all so much hard work and that it's only at the end of struggle that we arrive there. And yet the much more direct course is to recognize how easy it is. And in that recognition of how easy it is, it makes it that much more simple to simply relax without thinking that we have, miles and miles to go and mountains and valleys and everything else to overcome, that this is here for us now and depends only on our willingness and trust to become aware that it really is it's not a journey of miles. It's here for us now. And the more we can recognize that it's available to us this instant rather than sometime off in the future, the quicker we get there. We literally collapse time by recognizing it's here and now, and it always will be. And to take anything
and
more
I got to jump in and say, it's here and now. There's 30 seconds left. Time is here and now. Oh, you know what? Thank you so much, because I didn't mean to cut in there, but I do want to keep it within the parameters of time that we are restricted to on this radio broadcast. But thank you for joining us, listeners. Thank you for joining me, Peter and Matthew, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you guys.
Okay. Bye. Can't wait to talk to you guys next week and everyone to listen again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.